Hey everyone, it's Sam, and in this video I'm going to be unboxing and looking through the Crayola art marker sprayer. I've not even opened it before, and obviously as you can tell I'm doing it live on Twitch, where chat is definitely behaving very well. But yeah, I have not tried anything out like this before. I've never used any sort of air sprayer thing before, so I'm very curious to see how this will go. I'm a little worried that it's going to be kind of loud, but we'll see. Alright, let's dive into it. Alright, so I brought over all of my markers, and by all I mean, you know, the children's markers. All my markers, including, I'm very curious to see if the Crazy Art brand will fit, because supposedly only Crayola markers can fit. That's the word on the street here. And also, I haven't even tried these out yet. These are Target's brand. It's an American brand for y'all foreigners. But this one is a Target one. And then also, I was at Michael's the other day, and Michael's is now selling their own. And I'm like, what's going on? Alex was like, stop it. I don't know how messy this is going to be, so I just put down newspaper. Yes, best to be prepared. Yes, we definitely have learned some lessons. Shit, son of a fricker! Like... So turn markers into spray art. It's electric powered. I have an extension cord just in case. I don't know how long the cord is. Here's the side all nice and blurry. Yes. Here's the back of the box. It's a dual action trigger, push or pull, which I'm curious to see how that will go. Interesting there. I like that they have options. So here's supposedly what it looks like. And then here's the little list of stuff at the bottom. I know it's sideways, but deal with it. You have the markers that comes with paper, I guess, and then 2 sets of stencils. Easy to use, plug it in, insert marker spray. Okay, let's go, let's open it. So here are the stencils. Right off the bat, there's like these jagged edges. I love that. Oh, instructions. As we learned, I don't need instructions. Which way does it attach? Oh, you think it goes this way. That might be smarter. Just throw that away. There's so much, this is like, okay, for anybody who had like Barbies or figures as a kid, but especially Barbies, I feel like I've opened plenty of like boy action figure toys when I was a kid, and it was just not to the same extreme as Barbie dolls, but like the tape over everything and like how much of a pain it was to like, just give me the goddamn Barbie doll, like, this is what I feel like right now, like, give me the air sprayer, how do we get into it, like, oh, there's so much stuff in here. Oh wait, no there's not. They put all this stuff like at the front of the box and like, oh, there's a lot in here, and then you look inside and like, oh, it's mostly empty. Bamboozled. Hi, hello, time-lapse Sam here. Just me struggling through opening this box, figured I'd time-lapse it. I had to bring over scissors and cut everything. It was a big pain to get this out of the box, but it was really nice. It did come with effectively everything you need. I say effectively because it did get super messy, so definitely have something to put down to like protect your table or something. The cord was fairly long. I think it was about the length of my arm, so that's a pretty good length. I did end up needing an extension cord just for where I'm sitting, but otherwise it was great. Came with lots of stuff. Alright, back to real-time me live reacting. It's like a kind of a cardstock, so you have the alphabet and then 0 through 9 for the stencils. This would be such a pain to like have to save both pieces for each letter. So here's the other stencil sheet. Oh, look at the sun. That's pretty. Oh, I love that. Oh, there's also an exclamation point, a little pound sign, fire, a feather, a little heart, some stars. The moon is not as exciting as the sun. They made the sun so interesting. But I do love these edges. So if you want to do some sort of design with edges, that's really cool. It looks like every edge is different. So you have a spiky edge here, a wavy edge here, and you got like a jaggy edge thing here, and then that kind of edge, I don't know what you'd call it there. And then it comes with very, very thin paper. I'd say it feels sort of like computer paper. 10. You get 10 pieces of what effectively feels like computer paper. So you can read the newspaper through this paper. It's quite thin paper. Here we go. Instructions. We don't need instructions. I'm going to use their paper first just to kind of fiddle, but I did bring out the Canson watercolor paper and we're going to try it on here. I have a page and a half for us to fiddle and then an actual artwork for us to try and use this stuff with. They're so tiny. Here's a regular, normal Crayola marker. I have like giant monster hands. Since I didn't read the instructions, this thing moves. It tightens it. Here's the hole, by the way. I don't know if for size scale reference you see anything. They do look like the little pipsqueak things. Is this in right? Yeah, it looks like a little crooked. I hope it's in. So supposedly I should be able to do this or this. All right, I'm gonna push the button. We're gonna see how loud it is. So brace yourselves. Can you hear me? That's not actually as loud as I was expecting, but it is quite loud. Oh, it's vibrating. Let me just put you there. And let's... Woo! Okay, I have thoughts. Let's work through these thoughts. First of all, there's a little bit of random splatter over here. It does do quite a bit of like scattered splatter, but this is like a kid's toy, so I'm not gonna expect precision stuff here. And there's like a little bit of drip you can see at the opening of the hole, but it seems like I can sort of control pressure a little bit. If I barely press on the little handle, you can get a little bit of spray, and the more I press, you can get more spray. So that's really nice. I wasn't really expecting too much in the way of like control, I guess. I did bring tissues, so you got a little bit off that red mark right there. So you can get a really nice light, and I actually don't mind this texture too much. It would be nice to have the option of like texture and not texture, but I do think you could do some interesting stuff with this, like rocks, or I was gonna say snow, but I don't know how you would do that. I do have their gel markers, but I don't think it's gonna work with their gel markers, but ooh. I'm just testing out getting close. Should I zoom in a little bit so y'all can see a bit better? Alright, so this is pretty far away from the paper. Like, I'm maybe that way far from the paper. And I'm maybe like that way far from the paper when I do this. So you can get dark and close and you get a thin line. What if I touch the paper with it? This is actually surprisingly insanely fun. I'm just like, I just want to sit here and just... Like, I don't want to make anything, I don't want to draw anything, I just want to spray. I probably should have like scribbled with the marker first to like see what color they all are before spraying. We can do that. Alright, hold on. Alright, so here's what the marker looks like after. It looks brand new. So it maintains the color. It looks like, I mean, that looks like the same color. Time-lapse Sam here again, just swatching down the colors onto the paper, the ones that come with the kit, and then I also swatched down the classic Crayola markers just to compare the colors so you could see the differences, because they're just a little bit different here and there. I was like, let's go! And I forgot I didn't turn it on. I like that they have the option of both in case like someone is more comfortable with a different option. Alright, ready for loud? Alright, let's go! And now time-lapse again as I spray with all of the markers that came with the kit, just going through them one by one. They all performed effectively the same, didn't have really that many issues there. I think the biggest thing was just there was a lot of like scattered splattering that kind of happened everywhere. I think that's just because it's a cheap kid's toy. You know, you can't expect too much quality there, but they all performed otherwise effectively the same. You hold it further back, you get a wider, softer spray. You hold it closer, you get a more tighter, thinner line, but also like darker colors. So all performed perfectly fine. And I also switched out the color. So I put in the purple, sprayed a bunch with the purple, didn't do anything, put the yellow marker in, and you couldn't even tell that I switched them out. Like the colors didn't really even impact each other at all. I would still recommend wiping the tip down just because after a while I did notice a touch of clogging, so be sure to still wipe down that tip when you change colors. But otherwise there wasn't any contamination that I could tell. I also tested out the Crayola Classic set using just one of the brown markers and tested that out. Works just fine, so the other Crayola markers can fit perfectly. Let's try, oop, don't use stick, an off-brand. I'm assuming you're all gonna want one of the greens. Let's do the dark green and see if this is gonna fit. They're kind of close-ish. I mean, I can't tell. Let's try off-brand, rival company. I mean, it fit. So let's figure this out. I remember now, the one with too many greens. Yes. Bruh. It works just fine. What is this conspiracy? Only Crayola markers can fit and work in here. Like, okay, that worked perfectly fine. It gives the exact same results. You still get the little bit of splatter, the little bit of like weird caterpillar fuzz hairs right over here. Let me zoom in on that because it does look a little cute. You get the little fuzz hairs. That's a little cute. Gotta make their money. Don't use rival brands. Oh, now they're never gonna sponsor me. If I post this as a video and I'm like, rival brands work, they're gonna be like, don't reveal our secrets. You voided the warranty. Should I try the Target brand? Or should I like hold off? Do we want a video on the Target brand, or was like the crazy art enough? I mean, people seem to like the crazy art video, so I don't know if I should do one for the Target brand, but I'm curious to try better paper. Oh, we didn't even try any of the stencils. All right, we'll try the stencils on the nice paper. Oop, okay, there we go. So you have this as a stencil to spray around, and then you have this for that. So there you go. And here we are, time-lapse Sam again at the part where everyone probably wanted to see, is me trying to create some artwork with this set. Is it possible to create artwork with Crayola air sprayer? The answer, you'll just have to wait and see. I do want to preface this though, you can see me blobbing the yellow marker at the top. I did have a little bit of clogging, so just a heads up, there is a bit of that issue there. So just make sure you have a spare sheet of paper. Sorry for the sirens, but just make sure you have a spare sheet of paper or something to test spray on, just to make sure there's no issues before you spray onto your actual artwork. So, you know, just be careful, you know, just have a little test sheet before you do anything on the real thing. So here I'm coming in with just a gradient. I'm doing a simple gradient, you know, night sky. I wanted to use one of the stencils, just to experiment with one of the stencils. I did end up having a little happy accident and tried to fix that with water, which happy accident made it a little bit worse. That I had to frantically try and go in and then do more spraying to sort of cover it up. On the final thing, you can't really see it. I mean, you can, but it's like not that distracting really. But yeah, so I'm coming in here with the gradient. I'm using the yellow, the blue, and just the purple I think those three markers to create a nice smooth gradient around this moon. You can probably tell already that the blue is very thin. These air sprayers spray down quite thin layers. They're a little bit patchy, as you can probably also tell. It probably looks worse on camera than it does in person, because the final artwork, it looks kind of fine, and actually like the little patchiness that there is, you can just say, oh, that's just space. You know, space looks like that. So for my first attempt with this, I do think this went pretty well, and it had me definitely very excited. And for getting things darker or bolder, more vibrant, because Crayola markers are extremely vibrant. I can't talk today. They're very vibrant colors. That's the word I wanted. I'm gonna get this video demonetized. But they're very vibrant colors. So to get that same effect with this air sprayer, you just need more patience. You need more layers. So just take your time, go slow, you know, layer color over color to get your smooth gradient going. Take your time, it's fine, and you'll get a vibrant, I said it right, you'll get a vibrant, bold, and dark color going. So first attempt, not too bad. I also used my white acrylic paint pen to get in the stars. Really enjoyed it, and I think the splattering kind of was a bit of a nice texture. Actually, the splattering wasn't... I'll talk more about that. So let's move on to picture number 2. I wanted to use another stencil and get some stuff going, so I'm using the sun here, and for sticking it down, I'm actually using my kneaded eraser. I'm kind of using it like sticky tack, and so sticking it down there, and then I'm going to do another gradient with the regular classic Crayola markers, because they fit just fine. All the Crayola markers, they fit, or the broad ones fit obviously just fine. And like I showed earlier, even competitive markers can fit in this kit. So if you don't have a bunch of Crayola markers, but you do have some other ones, they will probably fit if they're the same size as the Crayola markers. So, you know, rip my maybe eventual sponsor, probably not going to ever sponsor me. So I'm doing a nights or sunset sky here. Some yellows, oranges, reds. I don't remember all what colors I use, purples, stuff like that. And just layer. It takes a lot of layers to really get things smooth. And for the splattering, it's not really avoidable. I couldn't find a way to make it so the splattering wouldn't happen. And also I will note that the markers are a little bit picky with where you kind of put them in, because you can't shove them too far or it won't work. And you can't shove them like not all the way in, because then it also won't work. So you need to find this little bit of a Goldilocks zone in between. And that's why I also mentioned having a test sheet to the side so you can make sure the marker's in the correct position before you start actually working on your real, actual artwork. So there was the issue with the splattering. There was that issue with the clogging. It does clog up a little. So just make sure you wipe down the tip in between markers, or even if you're just using a lot of one marker, just make sure you're keeping the tip clean. I didn't notice that much residue on the inside, so I don't know how much inside you need to clean that often, but definitely wipe down the tip on the outside. And you do get a broad range of spray size, I guess. Like I said, holding further away, you get a nice broad spray that's softer, and then close up, you get a darker, thicker, not thicker, thinner line for the markers. So yeah, so here I'm just doing more spraying, doing the water, just overlaying colors. I don't know if I chose the best colors, but this was just me trying to figure out this tool, trying to learn what I'm doing here. So definitely experiment, especially whenever you get a new tool for the first time, just use a couple of papers. It's not a waste of paper. And just fiddle, play around, see what happens. Since these are water-based markers for Crayola, they are obviously water-soluble, which means you can also use water with these markers. So you can do a lot with this air sprayer. You can use the regular air sprayer, and like coming up, I'm going to be using straight marker directly on the paper. So I'm combining those two effects, the spraying, and then I'll be drawing directly onto the marker to add in some mountains and a little bit of water texture that's not really visible, mostly the mountains. But then you can also combine water on top of that. But it does change the look of things when you add water, so just a heads up, just again, experiment, play around. Water soluble, yes, but just a heads up, you might need to get used to how the marker works with the water after you spray it on, because it does have a different texture, which I am now getting to, which is it's a little gross. This is one of my larger caveats with this set, is when spraying it down, it does get a different texture than if you're going straight in with the marker. It gets, sorry again for the sirens, it happens, but it does get very sticky, and it stays wet longer, and I hate the sticky feeling. I hate the sensation of it, so I try to avoid to touch the paper, and it stays sticky for like a week or something. I don't know, I avoided it. It was gross. I'm sorry, not for me. I don't like the sticky. So just try to avoid touching the paper. This is what I'm saying. It gets to be a mess. My hands were just covered in marker by the end of this. Very fun. I loved it. I super recommend this. If you are a fan of Crayola markers, or if you have like competitors or whatever that obviously are the same size as Crayola, I 100% recommend this. It retails as $29.99 on their official website. It's currently on sale on their website, it says, for $24.99, so it might depend the price for where you buy it, what it'll be, but this is USD, by the way. But I do recommend it. I did have so much fun with it. I do want to do a lot more projects with it, but just heads up, it does stay wet longer, so you'll need to have your paper dry longer, so don't touch it for longer, and it does have a sticky texture, which I did not enjoy, especially when taking off the washi tape for this artwork, which, by the way, if you'd like to see me finish the zebra artwork, I do have that step-by-step demonstration over on my Ko-fi page, where I post many demonstrations on various mediums, but if you're more into water-based markers, I do have quite a bit already on there for you if you'd like to see more of my process of how I make artworks with water-based markers. So if you'd like to check that out, link will be in the description. But yeah, this was really a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. So, great product. Just look at my hands. Oh my god. I've been doing things today. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Hope you have an awesome rest of your Sunday, awesome rest of your week, and I'll see you all next time. Drink water also, I forgot. Everybody quick drink water.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.